to The Output. This is a podcast about fashion, pop culture, music, and some other goodies to enhance your day. I really wish I could add some dating advice or dating tips to this segment, but that is clearly not happening in my life right now. Anyway, listen, sorry I missed last week. I truly had a lot going on. It is what it is. I was just a little wrapped up and busy with some other projects, and unfortunately could not catch up to do the podcast in time by the weekend. So, you know what? I will take extreme ownership on that. I need better time management. I know this. I'm working on it. But anyway, we are here now. It is Friday. We are already cruising through March, and it is amazing. This year is just flying by. Last year kind of flew by, even though, the pandemic situation, lots of time at home to do projects and whatever other struggles were occurring. But here we are now, almost into the first quarter, completely done with the first quarter of 2021. And it's at times like this, I think it's important to reflect on, okay, what have I done or what goals have I accomplished up to this point? Because if we don't take that time to do self-reflection and create goals for ourselves, then all we're going to ever do is be stagnant. And I'm not sure about you guys, but do you ever jump into a pool and just try to stay still? I don't think being stagnant is as exciting as swimming around the pool, right? You do that, was it hydroplaning or not hydroplaning? When you're sitting there and you just basically are making sure your ass doesn't drown. But it is more fun to swim around the pool, okay? So it's kind of like that in life. You have to have goals, set up expectations for yourself and things. So that's what I like to do at the end of each month and then each quarter to establish where I'm at and see what other things I could do better, different, improve upon, hit up friends, be like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Given the times we've hung out or whatnot, accountability partner, I need you. What do you think? What could I have done better, etc. Okay, so, wow. Anyway, didn't mean to go into that little tangent, but here we are, right? March 12th. Anyway, super excited. Looking forward to the weekend. I took off of work, no JOB for me on Friday because I just needed an extended break. And I got some other stuff. We'll talk about that in the show. But anyway, this week's sound for hydrating. I don't know. I'm not going to drink as much as I usually do during the show because I've got some fresh, hot-ass peppermint tea. And yeah, this stuff is so soothing, enjoyable. Sometimes I put some special sauce up in my tea, but this time I didn't, and we will have a health segment of the show, and I'll get more into why this is definitely a virgin tea. All right, but when I do sip on this tea, this episode, you guys know I got a pet peeve. I don't like dead air. This is what you can expect to hear this episode because I'm proud for getting my chi on. Let's go. So that is what you'll hear. I'll be taking a sip. So if you got a drink and you hear that, why not sip with me? Okay, so each week I offer a question to engage you, the audience. And this week's question is none other than, what is an unpopular opinion you have? So yeah, we're about to pick up some fights here. I know you've all got them. If you're like, what's an unpopular opinion? Well, I'll give you an example of one, and I'm not saying that this is mine, but here's one. If somebody said something like this would be an unpopular opinion. The movie is better than the book. All right, so that's definitely one. Another one would be blue cheese is greater than ranch. Yes, that is mine. Okay, that's not mine for the show. I've got another one at the end, but we've all got unpopular opinions. So I want you guys to think about this, and I invite you to hit me up on Twitter at DJ Unprotected. Send me your unpopular opinion. I want to know what you've got. Hit me up and I will shout you out on the next episode. All right, guys. So before we roll into this episode, shout out to all of our returning listeners. You are awesome. And if this is your first time listening, I just want to ask at the end of the show, if you found this entertaining, you enjoyed it, thought I was cool, if I met your expectations or happened to exceed them, which is all possible, please hit that follow or subscribe button on whatever platform you are listening to. That way you can catch me next week. I rarely miss weeks, so don't miss out on this content. Much love to you guys for the constant support. Man, so some of the fun topics this week, we've got FedEx. FedEx has been the bane of my existence recently. Used to love them, but I got a story to tell you guys. We're also going to talk about health and fitness. I did this thing called a bod pod, and it's basically a body fat test, and I will tell you, it was honest and hurtful, okay? More into that and some changes that I need to take on this health and fitness jersey and get pool party ready, bust out these abs. That's exactly what we're going to do. We'll talk about some entertainment news. The Grammys are coming through this weekend, right? But some artists are not happy with the Grammys, the organization that it is. And I've got some opinions about that in the music industry itself. You're getting it from I'm in the music industry. I studied music production. I got a degree in it. And I've got some stuff to say about this, and whether or not you choose to accept it, that's on you. And then if you are in an industry and you don't agree with it, well, then get the F out. But if it pays the bills, then vibe with it, man. But anyway, we will get more in depth on that later. And then I've got something I'd like to talk about at the end. Do you live to work, or do you work to live? And I've talked about having interesting hobbies before and why I think it's important to feel creativity or whatever, think outside the box to be productive. But there are people who just work. So I want to talk about this topic a little more in depth, as it does involve a level of happiness that we can find in our lives. All right. And then obviously we will wrap up this show with this week's unpopular opinion, and I will share with you mine, and we can talk about that. And we will wrap things up and continue moving on with the weekend. That's right. DJ Unprotected will be wrapping things up. All right. So FedEx being the bane of my existence. Why is that? Well, let me tell you guys something. All right. About, I think it was like 6 months ago, I had seen somebody on YouTube talking about egg whites. Now, I've bought egg whites from, Costco, Walmart, Sam's Club, whatever grocery store here in Texas. You got H-E-B, okay, corner stores, whatever. Those egg whites, the simple whatever you've got, the carton egg whites. I used to buy those all the time. But the thing is like they always have some weird smell. I don't know what the smell is, but that smell exists. And it's like raunchy. It smells like a fart all the time. Like you cook some egg whites, smells like a fart. You bring the egg whites to work, you heat it up, and people in your office think that you busted ass and crop dusted everybody. You know what I'm saying? But I saw on YouTube someone talk about egg whites that didn't have those smells, and you could drink them raw, and the way they were processed, you'd buy them, they send them to you frozen, etc. So at first, I was buying from this company called Eggs 24/7. Now, guys, if you're sitting here wondering, dude, just whatever, stop being lame, just crack open some eggs, filter out the yolk, whatever. I eat a lot of egg whites, all right? So I will order like a gallon of this stuff, and every week or two, I got to order more. Because if you figure a serving is like 8 ounces, you know what I mean? Like, I will cruise through it. Like, real talk, man, I love eggs. Eggs to me are like a quick afternoon snack, something maybe late at night. I just like it, man. It's like my favorite. Like, breakfast is one of my favorite things to cook with my oats, the, fruits. Definitely toss up some bacon, and then my eggs. I'm a huge fan of it. So it's easy. Man, toss that into a protein shake. You've got a very healthy snack, all right? So this company, let me get back on track. So company Eggs 24/7, I liked it, but the container was like this square type of container. And I don't have big hands, but the cap on the top was almost the same like size of the container. Like the diameter of it was like really big. And so I'm trying to I would get those things and I would grip the top and it would be really hard to open. All right. And I'm not saying I'm not somebody with superhuman strength, but I'm not weak. Okay. Do resistance training 6 days a week. I'm definitely not weak, but this thing would be hard because like I said, I don't have big hands, but you know what I mean? Like I can play the piano with them, play the guitar, whatever, but they're not like huge hands. And like opening these plastic jars for the egg whites were such a pain in the ass all the time. especially when I first get them, I swear they would crank those lids on so tight. I would sit there with these rubber gloves that I use for cooking it on the grill so I don't like burn my hands when it's like super hot, you know, I'm cooking some wings. And so I grabbed those. I use those rubber gloves. The outside of them has a grippy rubber on them. Got those on the top and I'm cranking away. And I swear, like one time I almost pulled a fucking pectoral muscle trying to wrench this thing open. I was like, dude. So it would always happen. Like I would get it open and then because, you know what I mean? If you shake it up or whatever, well, the egg whites would kind of dry at the top and it made it that much harder to open the next time you would use it. And it started getting to the point that I kept ordering this stuff, but it'd be such a pain in the ass to open. I would just end up popping a hole in the jug, the plastic jug, and like squeezing it out into like other containers. Like, so these big, 30-ounce cups. Obviously they had like screw on top cups, like the ones you can make like blended smoothies or whatever, like with the Magic Bullet. So I was doing that, but I was like, damn, like there's got to be another company that has like regular like gallon jug milk size tops or ones that are easy to get a grip on. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the key thing, like to get a grip and open something. And it's not a matter of being strong or weak. Like, dude, that stuff totally sucked. So I ended up finding another company, and the other company is called Muscle Egg. And I was super excited to try them. I mean, they've got tons of flavors. And I just went with the regular egg because I just tend to cook them or whatever. If I toss them in a protein shake, it's no big deal. So I ordered these eggs. The first time I ordered them was the week before. It was the week before we got the bad storms in Texas. So I ordered them on a Monday, and they were supposed to come by Friday. But the weather started getting bad in southern part of U.S., right? The whole South Central was like getting tore up. It was getting cold. You know what I mean? Like it was rainy, whatever. So mail started to get like stopped up, like up near Dallas and whatever. So it was supposed to come on Saturday of that Snowmageddon, whatever we call it down here. But it got held up and it didn't get delivered that Saturday. Well, that Sunday, Valentine's Day, it snowed like crazy. We got like 5-6 inches here or something like that. And so the next few days, like highways were shut down through like Wednesday or Thursday. So that thing didn't get delivered. It was just like on hold. It just said in transit processing, and it was in San Antonio, right? So then it warmed up that Friday, okay? And then so it got delivered finally like at night on Saturday, which was like 30 degrees. Well, it got delivered at like 7 p.m., but I never heard it. So as I was checking like the doors to make sure they were locked, it was like I was going to bed, it was like 11:45. I look outside and there's the egg white box. So I grabbed it, brought it inside. Now this thing shipped like 10, 11 days ago. So I'm like, okay, what are the chances that this, like in FedEx, like did they leave it just on the back of a truck or did they put it in a freezer? Now the box itself just says refrigerate after opening, like put contents in your refrigerator or freezer after accepting the package, but it doesn't say, hey, FedEx, we paid extra money. Make sure you put this thing in a fucking freezer. That's not part of the instructions, right? So I get it, and the jugs were like half frozen. So I'm like, oh, man, yes, they're frozen now, but did it happen because outside, when they got delivered at 7 p.m., and I saw the box at like 11:40, it was like 21 degrees, 22 degrees, sub-freezing. Did the egg whites freeze while they were outside for like 3 or 4 hours? Totally possible. So I was like, oh, man, I don't know. And I remember talking to my dad, and he was like, dude, you don't want to risk it. Like, you don't know what happened for the other 9 days. Probably, thawed out. Like, you just don't know if they landed in a freezer or something, and then here you are getting salmonella. So I ended up having to throw out those 2 gallons of egg whites. And I probably could have contacted the company and got another order, but I said, you know what? I was fortunate during that whole snowstorm situation. I never lost power or water. Someone's fault. Why should a company have to eat the cost? You know what I mean? Shit happens, and that happens in life, and I've got the money to buy 2 other gallons. So I put in another order. Well, turns out that like FedEx was still trying to catch up on orders. So I put it in on Monday, and this thing didn't get shipped out. It got shipped out that Monday or Tuesday, but got in San Antonio on Thursday evening. Friday, it was like on truck for delivery. Friday night, it said unable to deliver due to the weather conditions. Saturday night just said in transit. And this thing didn't come until Tuesday. So again, another week, and I got the jugs, and they were kind of like, there was like condensation feeling inside. These things are in bags. So I grabbed the jugs, and I was like, okay, well, let me just check the temperature of them. So poured some eggs in a cup. They didn't stink. Poured them in a cup, put a thermometer in it. Yo, the eggs were like 53 degrees. I said, well, got to throw these out. So I contacted the company. I was all upset because I was like, man, I'm about to get egg whites. Like, it took a while to find eggs in the stores after the storm because I had to catch up because everybody bought everything. So I was like, dude, I just want some eggs. And the egg whites would totally do it for me right now. So I called the company, and they were like really cool about it. She said, look, I look at the tracking information. It was held up in San Antonio for bad weather. It's out of your control, so we're going to send you a new batch, which was like, that was like last Monday. So I was like, cool, I'm about to have some egg whites by Friday. It's going to be dope. Well, yo, that thing sat for like processing order. They told me it would ship by Tuesday or Wednesday. I get it by Friday. Well, this thing was like processing order, shipment sent to carrier all week. And I was like, oh man, here we go. About to not get egg whites again. Like, what is going on? Y'all can't send me a package. You know what I mean? And I'm like frustrated. Like, that's it. I'm going to have to buy egg whites from Eggs 24/7 and pop holes in all my jars again and blah, 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 and live this whole life of inconvenience as I just want to cook some darn egg whites. You know what I'm saying? And eventually, like, all of a sudden I checked the tracking, and it was like shipped. It said like shipped and left Illinois, like, I want to say Tuesday. So maybe it was Monday evening or Tuesday. It said shipped from Illinois, and then on Wednesday it was delivered. Got the egg whites. They were frozen. Put one in the freezer. Let the other one in the fridge to thaw out for a couple of days. And boom, your boy's got some egg whites. I will be eating a ton of them tomorrow. So that was my story with FedEx. I was kind of mad at them at first, but you know what? Everything's cool because I'd ordered something else this week, and it got delivered today. So FedEx, you were the bane of my existence for the last 2 or 3 weeks, but now you're back on track, baby. Got mad respect for you. So thank you for getting me my egg whites. I really appreciate it. That's dope. So that was like kind of my shopping issue. I guess like a little bit spoiled, right? Because we have things like Amazon. That was like a 15-minute rant. But you got things like Amazon, and we want to order things and get it sometimes the next day if you're close to a distribution center, or you get it within 2 days. You got Amazon Prime. Most you'll wait maybe 3 days. But we like to get things quick. Like a day or two later, let me get it. And it totally saves time from going to the store. Burn in 30 minutes or an hour. Just order it ahead of time and get it. So it just shows how like into a routine of ordering things and getting them back fast is like, that's my thing. And then I was frustrated when it didn't come so fast. Plus, like, okay, 2 gallons of egg whites with shipping is just under $90. So it's not like, I mean, whatever. I've accidentally spent $90 going out drinking with friends. But here you're getting a little bit, something more value other than just renting some alcohol and pissing it out. I mean, there's like nutrition value, and eggs are good, man. God, they're probably definitely like one of my favorite healthy snacks. So, perfect transition into this next topic of health and fitness. Now, a bod pod. You guys, I don't know if you all are familiar with this, but one of the most accurate ways and best ways to get an assessment on your body fat percentage is through something called like a bod pod. Now, I think there's another area where you can do it where it like weighs you in water or something like that. But this is the bod pod. You kind of sit in this. It's almost like a small egg type capsule. Okay. And it kind of pumps the air out a little bit, like pulls the air out so your ears can pop or whatnot. Not a lot, but it basically tries to get a sense of like your body fat and then the mass of everything that's not fat. So I did this because, as I told you guys, like about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, I got in touch with a coach, this service where like they kind of help you meet your goals. And hey, I'm trying to get right for the pool parties this summer. That hopefully they'll happen. But, and anyway, just kind of re-engage like being healthy and all that jazz after getting in some bad routines thanks to being locked down and coronavirus and blah, blah, blah. Right. So got the coach. So we had set this up. So I went. And so I did this thing where you go and they take your they take your metrics, your health metrics. So you do your blood pressure and all that jazz. I didn't have any coffee. So to do this, there's like you have to have a little regimen. You have to fast beforehand and you have to wear some form of tights in order to do this thing. And I mean like spandex, like Under Armours, something other than like spandex pants, no yoga pants, but you could wear like Speedos or whatever. But you got to fast, no working out, no excessive amounts of water, and definitely no coffee or anything at least 2 hours before the test. So I did it really early in the morning. It was at like 6:30. So I didn't have any water that morning, no coffee. I go to this thing. I'm like all awkward and stuff, like hand a woman my ID. You know what I mean? I can't even like hold my ID right because my skills aren't like I'm not functioning properly because I haven't had any coffee. And so it was just all embarrassing in the beginning. But, you do this, they get your whatever. So you get your blood pressure, all that stuff. And then they're like, okay, listen, get down into your spandex. Here's a little like cap that you put on your head. You know what I mean? So thank goodness I had a lot of gel in my hair that day. But you put this tight cap on your head to eliminate the air around your hair. It's part of the process. And then you go and sit in this little capsule for about 50 seconds. They do 2 tests. They take your waist measurement and you do these 2 tests. You do in there for 50 seconds. You've got like this exit button that you can push and then slam the door open in case you get claustrophobic. But honestly, it wasn't bad. It was kind of like if you imagine just being in a small like space capsule of just you. That's what it was like. It was super small, but you're on there so short time. Like you can see out of it. I've done like those float tanks. Those never bothered me. This was nothing. So did it, do the one, they open the door, make sure you're okay. Then they close it, tell you to sit still. And then it's like 50 seconds, you sit in there and you hear kind of like, it's the same sound of when they're doing your blood pressure of like, pumping up the air, like, right? It's the same thing, only it's like, I think pumping out the air when you're sitting in that thing. So something about however it works, I'm not sure. When I went, I thought like maybe I was going to have to get wet, get into water. So I brought like some spare clothes with me just in case. But it turns out I didn't need that. But anyway, we do it. We get the results. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm probably around like 15, 16%, maybe 18% body fat. You know what I mean? Dude, she sat here, highlight this form. Your boy was at 28% body fat. All right. And on the form, it says above 30%, please speak to your health provider about avoiding certain health risks. So 20 to 28%, anything over 20% for males was considered overweight, right? Overweight tendencies, like you're considered overweight. Oh, man. So that was like disappointing, shocking, hurtful, all those things. Like that bod pod was almost like brutally and painfully honest with you. 28% body fat. Like, what the fudge happened, man? And that's exactly what happened. Your boy was probably eating too many cookies. It was the pizza every Friday. But like I told people at work after the test, and they're like, dude, you don't look like you're 20. You don't look fat. You don't look overweight. So maybe like my clothes hide it well or whatever, but that exists. Like that fat is somewhere. So I'm okay, and I'm open and honest about talking about this. So for me, 28% body fat meant that about 53 pounds of fat on my body. Okay, so if you figure, like I was right around like 192 pounds. So they were saying like, without the fat, be like 137, 138, which that wouldn't be healthy. You need some fat, like unless elite athletes, kind of like marathon runners and triathletes and stuff are like right around 5%, 6%. They stick to that like all year long. That's crazy. I'm trying to get to like maybe 8%. So I've got to lose like 20% body fat, which is, that's lots of weight off of that. Like, whew. So I'm not going to sit here and try to do public math on the amount of weight. But if you think about it, if 30 pounds of, of whatever, like 30 pounds of my body weight is fat, all right, and if it's like 5,000 calories is in a pound of fat or something like that, 5,000 times 30. So say if I lose 20 pounds of fat, it's 5,000 times 20. That's 100,000 calories. Like I would have to burn to lose 20 pounds of fat. So that's why you have to understand what they tell me. You have to understand your resting metabolic rate, which they did an assessment, and I'd probably burn like around 1,700 calories a day just to function resting. So I definitely would need to like consume about that, but make sure like you work out and stuff. So even if I was going to, say burn 1,000 a day, so burn 1,000 calories less than what I ate for that day, we're talking about like 100 days to lose 20 pounds. That's crazy to think about. No wonder when you do like these goals with your coaches and you're like, oh yeah, I want to get to like 10% body fat in like, 10 weeks, 8 weeks. Dude, what? Like, and that's not healthy. Like this would be like, it's the average amount of time what you could actually do without killing yourself. So that's like 100 days of like dedication of being on top of it, logging your food. Now, thinking about this, okay, logging your food, I was logging my food. I was like, all right, I'm going to eat, my egg whites. I like my steaks. I like my chicken. I'm really simple when it comes to food, and I actually like healthy food. So broccoli, your whole grain rice. I love asparagus, beans. You know what I'm saying? I like healthy stuff. I love spinach, salads, all that jazz. But my problem was I was logging all the proteins and whatnot, but I wasn't logging the oatmeal cookies, the complete trays of the Girl Scout cookies, the half a bag of trail mix. And I'm not talking about the small little bag you get out of a vending machine. I'm talking about the like 28 ounce bag, eating half of that joint. Oh man. So what does this all mean? Well, this means that I got to change it up. You know what I mean? Like there's that quote from Albert Einstein about the whole insanity thing. Well, I want, changes. So we got to do something different. Okay. So got to cut back or no more cookies. You know what I'm saying? I haven't touched a Girl Scout cookie in like Sunday was the last day. So it'll be 5 days now. So no more excessive amounts of trail mix. I measure it out. I make the serving size is a quarter cup. So I just put a quarter cup and I enjoy that quarter cup. I definitely enjoy every bit of that for sure. So the nuts, the raisins and the M&Ms that are in there, I enjoy them, but it's only a quarter cup. So I do that. The other thing is got to lay off the IPAs and drink some tea. Right? And did I mention that I have a ton of Girl Scout cookies left? So terrible timing on this. I mean, I've got several boxes of Thin Mints just chilling in my freezer, begging to get enjoyed. And I will say this. So if you guys are out there, shopping and you see some Girl Scouts selling cookies outside the shop markets, stay away from those new toasty cookies. They're like French toast type cookies. Holy cow. They are so good. Oh my goodness. They are the bomb. I had like half a tray, and the new s'mores are good. And not like the ones that are covered in chocolate, but these ones are like a s'more cookie. You get the chocolate, the cream, and then the cracker on each side, right? Oh my goodness. I swear I ate like a tray of that. And not one of the sleeves, but a tray of it this weekend. So no wonder why on like Thursday or Friday, I was like 189 pounds. And then Monday morning, I was just under 192. Whew. All right. So I've got some motivation and stuff to, behind me to start making the right decisions to get back on a healthy track and to cut down. I know I can do it 1,000 calories a day with working out and stuff. I bet you I could probably burn around like 2,500, 2,600 calories a day. And if I stick to consuming around 700, I'd lose like a deficit of like, 800 calories. So I'd burn more than I'm putting in. That's the key thing. Fast in the morning, drink my aminos. So anyway, I'm doing it. I'm going to do it, but that was interesting for my week. But I'm going to go back in 4 weeks and do the bod pod again. So I'll keep you guys posted. The key thing is to monitor it going down. So even if it goes from like 28 to like 24 or 26%, it's going down. The key thing, I really want to get to 20% as quickly and safely that I can. Around 20%, that would make me feel really good. Get under that range of, you're in excessive overweight range, right? You need to get into that moderate. And then the lean is under the 12%, I think. 12%, 10%. But anyway, that's the deal with that, guys. It's been a trip. I'm telling you what, that was a weird way to start the week on a Monday. Whew. Okay, so listen, let's cruise into entertainment news, right? This weekend is exciting because we've got the Grammys, and the Grammys are a great show. I used to DVR them all the time and like watch them for like the next months, I swear. I would always do that. I thought it was really cool. But, it's kind of been changed. Like the Grammys are their own type of beast. It's not like it was like 10, 20 years ago, in my opinion, but it's still like, it goes over the chart toppers now. I know everybody says there's different ways of the ratings and blah, blah, blah. And have they really, truly factored in streaming numbers and to certify things gold, platinum, all that jazz, right? That's a totally different discussion. I mean, I could write a master's thesis or essay on this joint talking about that, and definitely did a lot of papers on it while I was studying school. But, the key thing, I'm bringing this up because The Weeknd, and you guys remember how I felt about his halftime performance, but The Weeknd himself is boycotting the Grammys. So why is he doing this, right? And I guess he's saying that it's because of the secret committees within it, and there's probably corruption and all that jazz, and he doesn't want to be a part of it, so he's telling his labels to not submit his music anymore to the Grammys. Well, look, let's talk about this for a second. So these secret committees, now, the music industry is very powerful, very influential. Think about these top stars and how quickly they can influence millions of people. So yes, okay, that does have its committees, its impacts, and I'm sure it's some nasty stuff once you start getting really involved into the business. And to me, I think the music industry is like the Illuminati, right? Interesting enough, like it may be influenced by the Illuminati. You know what I'm saying? Like, who knows? Again, it's about getting reactions and influence and motivating people to do the things or manipulating them to do things that you want them to do for your benefit. The industry absolutely does it. I mean, look at old music like Helter Skelter in that time frame and the drug use and, the kind of like the evil that was brought into music and put in front of lots of people. It's tough to get good, you don't hear a lot of positive, happy, fun music, top of the charts in front of people all the time because you need that drama music. You need that music that's going to invoke a reaction, whether it's good, bad, or ugly. You absolutely have to do that. But the people causing that reaction also can influence a lot. You can get bought out. I mean, this topic I was talking about with a friend a while ago. I think when you start to get so successful with that stuff, like you may get approached by people to be like, listen, we want to initiate you into our secret society because the impact you can have on millions of people. If we give you stuff, we can make all of your fantasies come true. If you do what we ask of you, release certain type of music, maybe it's promote certain products for companies that they want to take off to manipulate the stock market, whatever it may be. But I think that is absolutely 100% possible that the music industry can be influenced like that. Now, guys, let's be real about this. If somehow my podcast episode goes viral and all of a sudden I end up, dying by, if I suicide myself in a few days, well, then the Illuminati and the committee, these secret committees, did it themselves for talking about this. But I've never been initiated into it. Hey, we can all go into our controversial conversations, but I think this absolutely exists. I mean, think about it. Like, talent really doesn't matter as long as what they're putting out sells. Okay, so you can think of any type of talent, or whatever, like songs are topping the charts, right? Like Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B. Like, are they really talented, or they just put out music that happens to get reactions from millions of people? However you define your talent is up to you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I always thought Art Garfunkel was really talented, but man, you could look at it so many different ways. Bruce Springsteen wasn't a great singer, but his music got reactions from people. Like, really not a great singer, is a different type of sound, but to put him in the studio or just sing a cappella, you'd probably be like, man, there's other people who can sing better than that, But who might have knocked that? That dude made great records without a doubt. Love a lot of his records. So, but the truth is, like, if something doesn't sell, right, then artists won't make it or stay on top of it forever. So they have to have that influence, that reactions to stay within the industry. And I've kind of brought this up before, talking about how, like, Cardi B had posted that dumb tweet, like, guys, should I buy this $18,000 purse? Knowing that there was or I think it was 80,000. No, knowing the amount of people that in the middle of this pandemic were having trouble paying their rent, paying for baby food, being able to afford sitters, whatever it was. And you want to ask that type of question, but it was before she was going to release music. It was a way to create buzz. I bet you she's part of the system, man. Somebody came to him. You know what I mean? So coming from me as an artist, musician, producer, DJ, whatever title you want to give me relating to the music industry, I accept the industry for what it is. I know it. It's a game. Look, I've got my own sound belief system and foundations. If someone comes to me from a secret committee trying to buy me out, they better be ready to satisfy some freaky shit, trying to buy me in to act like that. I'm just kidding. I'm good. I want to create great music and give reactions, whatever it may be. But it's true, man. Like, the system has got you. And I think the system is like that anywhere. I've seen it happen with awards at work. You know what I mean? Like, you could be a great performer. The package could look great. But if someone else is kind of being looked at or more deserving for a promotion, they're probably going to win that award if it has a chance of helping them out. But if you're not up for promotion, they're probably not going to give you that award because it won't really look that good on the unit or whatever, your office or wherever you work at. So I think it exists. I'm not mad at the weekend. I like the fact of, art should stay separate than being involved in politics, bureaucracy, and BS. But it's part of the game. It is what it is because money's involved, and that's important to everybody at the top. So, yeah, that was a fun topic. I swear we could talk about that Illuminati influence on the entertainment industry and music industry for probably like an entire series. Like, there are some research that has been done that will sit here and blow your damn mind. I've done it. I've looked into it. It's crazy. Maybe we'll start doing that in some of the segments. But like I said, I'm really not trying to get suicided. So, all right. So listen, this next part, do you work to live or live to work? And it's kind of relates to what we were talking about, dealing with industries and awards and promotions, whatever. But me personally, I work to live. I definitely do not live to work. And the issue with that, like, I don't like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how I don't understand how people can just be like, work is their life all the time. Like, that's what they think about. They're excited, and that's cool. Maybe they love their job, but I think loving your job and living to work are different things. Like, I love making music. I love being in the music industry, doing DJ gigs. But even when I'm retired and I'm just doing music full time, you have to have those moments for breaks. You know what I mean? Like, you are working to live. Like, that is going to be a source of income and revenue so that I can live the life I want, the crazy trips. But there are people out there who just like work as their life. Like, they have no habbies. Habbies. What's a habby? But seriously, like, let's talk about this for a minute, because we'll reattack this as I talked a few episodes ago about interesting hobbies that I find like are really cool. Like what is it? This, not stonesmithing. Is it stonesmiths? Bladesmiths, like bladesmithing, people who take metal and create blades and swords. Like, that's really cool. Arts and craftsy people. But I think it's important to have hobbies, even if you're like into filming and you just like to go and shoot short clips or do the drone footage thing because it looks beautiful and it's fun, or you have a YouTube channel. But I think it's important to like be involved. I just don't get how people can just, all their life is work. They wake up, they go to work, they go home, they think about work, and then they go to sleep and they wake up and they go to work, and like, that's it. No hobbies, no interests. They probably spend most of their time just eating Cheetos and watching porn. I mean, I don't know, but I think it goes back to that saying, get a life. Like, when people just talk to you about the same thing, or they're on your ass about one thing, or they just annoy you about one topic, it's like, dude, get a life. Get a life. Find something else. Like, don't care you're all up in my chili, but you need something else to focus on and find an interest in. I don't know how other people can survive. They bored out of their minds. Me, I don't get bored because I'm always interested in a lot of things. Like, that's just crazy. So I am so thankful and blessed, and sometimes it's a curse, all right? But to have so many interests outside of my job. I say it's a curse because there's just a lot going on. You have a lot of ambitions, and you just make plans and just get involved. And you're like, dude, why am I so involved with so many things right now? I just want to complete them. But the key thing is you got to complete the things you're interested in, or else you're going to go crazy. All right, so listen, time for this week's intriguing question. What is an unpopular opinion you have? Do I have one? Absolutely. And it's more than just the blue cheese is greater than ranch, which it obviously is, because you could put blue cheese on pizza that unfortunately I don't eat anymore because my ass is 28% body fat and I'm on a diet. But, okay, here is mine. Here's my unpopular opinion, and it is that Batman is neither a great superhero nor even an interesting character. Seriously, Batman is nothing more than just a rich kid who wants attention. Look at me. Look at all the cool things I have. I grew up. My parents died early. I had drama. Nobody cared for me. I was wiping my own ass at a way too young age. And you know what I mean? Like, and the other thing is, like, you can't trust somebody who disguises their voice. It's creepy, right? That's what creepy people do. They disguise their voice in the dark shadows. Okay, so he was creepy, but he doesn't want to hide too much because he still shows half his face. Now Batman's not in a pandemic, so he covers everything else but his mouth. You know what I mean? But for us, hey, we are showing our eyes, baby, because we got to keep it safe with these masks on. But seriously, like, okay, hey, let me just wear this mask, put black around my eyes, but you guys won't recognize me. But I'm at all these events that Bruce Wayne would probably be at. He can't fly. He can be killed. He's got no superpowers. So what's he got? Like, all he's got is his, like, trust fund money. That's it. That he developed into a company. There are a lot of people out there. Was it Dan Bilzerian? He's like that. He's kind of like a Batman, just doesn't do cool shit. Just hangs out with, beautiful women and has that, like, gigantua type mansion, which is no reason to have. Anyway, not going on that tangent. But what I'm saying is, that's it. Batman, neither a great superhero nor even an interesting character. You can fight me on it. I think the whole scenario is just like Scarface said. First you get the money, then you get the power, then you get the girl. That's what I'm sticking with. So you guys let me know if you agree, disagree. Hit me up on Twitter at DJ Unprotected. I want to know your own popular opinion, and I will shout you out on the next week episodes so we can let people know what yours is. All right, so listen, thank you again, everybody, for tuning in to The Output with me, DJ Unprotected. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. So whether you're listening on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, Google, please consider giving the show a rating. I'd really appreciate it. And if you like this podcast, please hit that share button, get it out to your friends, your socials, any way you can push the show out in front of other people. I really appreciate it. Sharing is caring. And of course, tag us in your posts, all right? Tag the show in your post at The Output. You can find us on all the socials. Much love. We will definitely retweet, repost, do whatever we got to do to get you guys back, all right? I appreciate any support that you can give this show. I love you guys. All right, so I hope you're picking up what we're putting out. We've got a lot to say. Tune in on your favorite streaming platform next week for a brand new episode. So have a great weekend. Be safe, have fun, and live your best life. We out.